What's up, YouTube? So we're gonna do a review on my 2007 Yamaha Grizzly 700. Um, I bought a winch, plow, and the mounting brackets and everything for it. I went with the Badlands 3,500 pound winch, and I haven't gotten to use it yet in the snow or anything. But so far, I mean, it lifts my 54-inch KFI plow that I just got also like nothing. I mean, absolutely awesome so far. I was just going to kind of do a review on how I hooked everything up. For those of you that don't know really what you're doing, or maybe are kind of mechanically inclined but are kind of questioning doing it, it wasn't that hard. I had a buddy of mine help me out. It also came with this plug right here, the remote. I'm not sure how long it is. I'd imagine probably 10 feet, maybe 15 at most. And I'll get to that part or whatever. I literally just wired the plug right to there and zip tied it to the brake cable. And it works pretty slick so far. I've only plugged it in once or twice, but you know, just kind of get an idea. I bought this from Harbor Freight, and it was like $5. I'm thinking, okay, well, that's probably the right one. Absolutely not. So I tried to factor in every possible way to get it to mount up, and I said, screw it. I'm not dealing with it because it's just not going to work. Let me get a flashlight here. So I ended up checking out a couple other videos on YouTube, and they went with either a worn plate or a KFI plate. So I went with a KFI plate. It mounts beautifully, like perfect. I mean, you know, I couldn't have asked for a better mount or anything. Sorry about the lighting, guys. It's not that great, but yeah, KFI is the way to go for that. I only spent $45 on eBay for it, which is a slamming deal. I'm not sure how expensive it is anywhere else. I'm gonna open up the garage. So it comes with all this wiring. The black ground cable is like 4 foot long. I mean, it just runs right here, and I zipped a hole. I don't know if you can see it into that fender there. See right there? So I literally only have like a foot long piece. It comes with this little tiny box in here. I'm sure it's just like a giant relay, if you will. It comes with two little crappy screws or bolts. So I went over to my bolt bin and I mounted it to the inside fender there. So popped two little holes inside the fender and bolted it right there. Everything bolts up the way it should. It gives you a pretty good diagram of how to bolt and where everything goes for the wiring. Super, super easy and simple. My advice, if I could do something different, you see them tiny little wires right there, the green, white, and then that black wire. My advice before you put this box in there is because the screws are super, super, super small, connect those first carefully. And I drilled a little hole right there. Let's see if I can get the light here. Sorry guys, I wasn't really prepared for this. I drilled a little hole right there so I could get the little bit of wire harness through there, because I figured it'd be a lot easier, and that way the wires could sit kind of flush and flat. So much better of an idea than to have it go up and over the plastic. Then you have bulging wires everywhere, and I didn't really care for the messy look. And I still might even cut some of this power wire down too to get rid of that mess, but I just shoved it, you know, deep into there, which ain't a big deal, because I had plenty of space back there. But yeah, connect those little wires first. You know, all these top post the red, yellow, blue, and black. You can do that afterwards, but make sure you get them 3 little screws right in there done first. And then let's see here. There was another thing I was going to say too about this winch. We put the plate in first and then realized with that bolt and that bolt that you couldn't get the winch in there. So we bolted up, we bolted up the left-hand side over there, them 2 bolts, and then we undid these 2 bolts enough to slide the winch through. And I think that's what we did, because we had to come in through the front. Yeah, we slid it in that way. And that, because we were under the impression that we'd have no problem, we'd have clearance to make everything fit in there with the whole mounting bracket or mounting plate and everything all cinched up tight, but we weren't able to. So I guess lesson learned or whatever. There's no rhyme or reason why, but it just is what it is. And then we just hand tighten that one and then hand tighten that one just with a ratchet and a wrench. So super easy. Then we put the fair lead on and everything. I still have this cable here. I figure I'll probably end up unwinding it and wind it real tight first before the actual snow does fly. It should be pretty soon here, I'd imagine, within the next few weeks. I live in Minnesota, so it's going to get chilly pretty damn quick. But I figure I'll use that cable until it completely shits out or breaks. I bought the 2-year warranty, which was like another $35, which is, I mean, what the hell's $35 these days? It's nothing. But I did, however, buy the synthetic rope also. So when that cable finally snaps, if it ever does, whatever, I'll swap it out. It's not a big deal. It's not a bad idea to have one on hand, if anything. And then I kind of want to get back to this also. Let's see your ground and everything. Okay, yeah, here, this is what I was going to say. So on some of the other videos on YouTube, they hook into your, I don't know if it's like a signal or whatever to turn on power to your winch. But I just tapped into this wire here, to get power to the winch instead of trying to figure out a fuse to go into. I didn't want to spend all that time, and I'm kind of, inclined or whatever, mechanically inclined to figure out. I've hooked up plenty of stereo systems in my trucks and stuff, so I already know what's going on. So I just went with that route, and that's for the key that automatically gives it power when you turn the key on. And I just spliced into that. Everything else literally just comes on the diagram, and it tells exactly how to hook it up, where to hook everything up. And then, so you got the yellow. Here, let me get over here. Sorry, I wasn't really. All right, so the blue wire right there, I just ran the blue wire up, and then, you actually can't even see it. It's in there. You can barely see it right there at the way bottom of the radiator. We ran the blue wire all the way through there, and then it comes up onto the driver's side right to there. Works super good. I just zip tied it to the bottom part of the grill right down there. And then the yellow part, or the yellow wire, I just ran that up right there on the back side of the radiator. And then, yeah, just the back side of the radiator. And I made a small little, I took a little cutters or whatever, small little incision right there, so that way the wire would basically sit flat. Made sure it was kind of ground down just a tad bit, so it wasn't super sharp. But I mean, getting through this coating is probably not going to take too much. That's pretty much it. I ran that. I made another cut in there too as well. Got everything hooked up the way it should. There's a lot of wiring and stuff, I know, looking at this video, but it's honestly not as hard as it looks. All it literally is just tracing wire from point A to point B. You just got to find the best way to route it, which which I did. I kind of like wire tucks, but there's not a whole lot of room up here in the front. So